Welcome back to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta and you are here with D-Boy. So today we will do the combo video that you guys have been waiting for on the Turbo GB8 deck. If you haven't seen the deck profiles yet, you could check them out. The videos are on our channel. So how does the deck work? What are the combos that you could do? The deck profile is important for that. The second video that we uploaded is also very important. The video that explains how to reach the GB8 and what's the difference between having that Cyclone face up in your G zone or not. And in this video, we'll actually talk about the combos, the synergy of some of the cards, and how will the deck actually interact with those units during the GB8 turn as well. So I will not shuffle the deck, I will just talk about how it would look like. So let's say we're starting with our starter, if I could find him. Yo, Mega Trainer, where are you? Oh, there he is. So we have, of course, Mega Trainer as our starter, and we will start from that. So let's say that we have in our hands Rising Nova, we had the Spike Monster. Do you want me to shuffle? Okay, let's just shuffle. Although some of the cards have different sleeves, doesn't matter. Let's just shuffle everything and see how the hand plays. Okay, because I think that's just more fun. So we have everything right here. This is a G guard, and we have these as well. Bunch of cards in my hand, bunch of different sleeves. Do you know why they are in different sleeves? Because I don't have 16 Rising Nova SP. I have enough for 2 decks, but I have 8, but not enough for all of my decks, because Rising is just chilling in almost every deck. So these are Risings. I know that these are basically the SPs, because they are from the V deck. All right, so when it comes to this deck, the most important part of the deck is that you need to understand how to guard. If you do not know how to guard, you will have problems throughout the whole game, because guarding is one of the most important things about Vanguard, knowing how to guard. But also in this deck, guarding is important because you need to have enough cards to be able to get into the GB8 turn, and to be able also to make the GB8 turn strong enough. Alright, so let's keep on shuffling. Right, so did multiple shuffling already, and keep on shuffling a little bit. If you guys want me to do a video on shuffling as well, I could do that as well. I basically do 3 different shuffles in one. So I start with having the 3 cards and 4, and I keep doing the 3 on 4, and then when I mix the different piles, I actually mix them with 2 other techniques, and with that you're mixing 3 techniques, and that's the best way to shuffle, is to mix different techniques. So, and you end up with perfect 3 on 4. Then I make 2 piles out of these, and this is the second technique that I use. So basically put them together, you don't have to force them in. And this is the third technique. So you basically do 3 techniques together, and with that you shuffle your deck the best way. That's my opinion. So let's do this again, put them together, do this again, and you basically have the full deck in your hand. And now you could do the other techniques as well. So we have shuffled enough in my opinion, and let's put the deck right here, and let's put our G zone. We don't play for me though. We don't play for Mios. We play all the others. So let's put this beautiful G deck right here, our starter. And yeah, let's just start. Let's see how the deck would actually work. We have our dices as well, so that's important. So let's see our first hand. Let's do a cut right here. We know that that's a Rising. That's just stupid. So I do 1, and I would do E1 cut. That's it. Alright, hope we get the Rising to the hand. So first card, second, third, fourth, fifth. This is a beautiful hand. Of course you have the Rising, which is good, You have a very good right target being Spike Bouncer, and you basically have your Acrobat Verdi, which is also an amazing right target. We don't need the draw trigger, that would definitely go back, and we could choose to put the Sprout back, but we could also leave it in the hand to plus in the early game and pressure your opponent a little bit, because the card that you will Soul Blast with the Spike Monster is the card that you will put with Sprout. So let's leave that in here. We don't want to draw another draw trigger. So we draw one more Spike Monster. That's a good hand. Last card would have been a draw. Hey, that's another good card because it's just good shield value. You could also argue with me on putting this card back to the deck because you want to draw your heals. But again, he gives you a card and an attack, which could also be your heal. That's a good one, right? But again, different playstyles, different things that you could do. All right, so shuffle. And again, we will only do one cut. So let's see who starts. Let's go with the two colors we have right here. So let's say that we are purple and the opponent will have the pink one. So we start. Going first. Ooh, interesting with this hand because we don't have the right cards to get to the GB8 as a first right, but we will see, we will manage. So the first we drew a Wonder Boy. Of course, we will write to the Acrobat Verdi. Use the Acrobat Verdi skill to check the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We didn't get the Jelly Beans, and we also didn't get a second Rising, but we have the Bed and Dragger. We could choose to add the Bed and Dragger to the hand and then get rid of the Spike Bouncer, which we will put back to the deck, which is good. So these will of course go to the deck. Don't get rid of the Wonder Boy because you need a little bit of shield value. Remember, guarding is important in this deck. You reshuffle, again we do only one cut and this will get out of the soul. We went first, so no attack for us, and we don't plus because we don't have the starter. Just to put the starter here or there, whatever you like. Basically, normally I don't attack that one at Vanguard. So it's their turn, they attack us. So let's say they attack us only once and we take 1 damage. It's a Rising. Too bad, too sad. Okay, our turn again, we draw, we write into the Spike Monster because why not? We use the Spike Monster skill only if you know that they could not retire the Mega Trainer. If you think that they could retire the Mega Trainer, that you would not use the Spike Monster skill. But let's say they could not, so you can't blast and you Soul Blast to see what the top 2 cards are. There are Sprouts and the Mayhem Tiger. It's good. We'll go to Sprout with the Mayhem Tiger at the bottom of the deck. Call 1, call 2 Sprouts. Why not? And we will pressure them right here. This is good. This is very strong field. So attack. Use the ability to put this bad boy, or let's start with the Spike Monster. Put the Spike Monster to the bottom of the deck. Now they need to intercept, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the battle, let's go to the Soul and we draw 1. Jelly Bean is very good. We do that again. We put this to the bottom of the deck, and at the end of the battle, it goes to the Soul, and we draw 1 more. Also good. Then we attack with a Vanguard, boosted because we are pressuring anyway. Drive check, crit. Whoa. Crit and power Vanguard, of course, and this depend on how they guard it, will go through or not. Okay, so then it's their turn again. Let's say that they attack you twice and you don't want to guard, so you take 2 damage. 1, 2 Jelly Beans, 2 sad. And then it's your turn again. So you stand, draw, heal. Good. Now you could choose to ride into the Bed and Dragger first and then Rising, because you know that you have a second riding turn. So Bed and Dragger, create 1 marker, and of course we choose for Force 1. And then you use this count plus 1 to search out the heal, and then you use Jelly Beans back to the deck to search out another heal. Now you have 3 heals in the hand. This is already very, very, very good. Right, so you could choose to put the Spike Bouncer on the field to pressure them a little bit, and then it's up to you to call another card or go for the draw. Depending on what deck they play, could they retire your field or not? Could they get rid of your field? Do you want to leave him as an interceptor on the field? Normally I will go for the draw because I don't feel like it's necessary to keep him on the field, but also I would rather draw into my hand than have cards on the field and premium. So this is how your field would look like. You attack with your Bed and Dragger, and if they are on 2 or 3 damage, they want to guard. So the first is nothing, second is a jelly bean, good, but too late, we need the heal on the hand. And then you attack with the spike bouncer, you count +1, and you put this into your soul to draw. We draw a perfect guard, that's good. This is very good defensive hand already. As you can see, we have the crit, we have the 3 heals, and we have the Merlin as our cheerleader. All right, so we have good soul for our Formios if we played in the deck, and that's interesting because we have used the spike bounce to go to the soul, and we have used these two. But if not, then we will only have 1 soul. So again, it's up to you to choose to play him or not. It's your first stride turn for the opponent, and that's basically the strongest one. On this turn, you actually want to G-guard because you want to have your stride, which is of course the violence ace, to draw you as much cards as you can. So let's say they attack the first attack, you will just use Lindsay to G-guard right here, and we will just go and use our this G-guard and use the ability to, if you want to, you could use another G-guard as well, but you could use the ability to put cards like Spike Bouncer back to the deck and just put another Gil back to the deck, just like that, put them back. And he will not gain the power, but if it's enough, it's enough, right? So this will go to your G-zone. And that's when things get interesting, because right here, your opponent does not know if you have 3 or 2 G-guards. So some of them will actually stop attacking, and some others will keep on attacking. If they keep on attacking, then another attack, you could use another Lindsay to now go for the flip G-guard and go for that strong power. And from that, you of course flip 1 card from your G-zone. Face up, again, if it's not a retire deck, you could just use to flip the Desmil, and this will go to your G-zone as well. And then the next attack, they know you don't have the 4 G-guardians because you could not use it anymore. You could take like 1 damage, or you could just also guard if they only have 3 attacks or more attacks. And basically, you will guard and then you flip something from your G-zone. And with that, you could actually not G-guard anymore because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will be the 5th one. And you could not G-guard anymore for this game. So these will go to your G-zone. And right here, you of course use the skill of Lindsay to remove it from the, or put it to the bind zone to flip something face up. And if they attack you once or twice, you could take the damage, or you could guard if you want to, depending on how strong the attacks are. So let's say they attack you only once, or you could G-guard, or I mean PG, but let's say you also take another damage. It's a draw trigger, that's good. You give power and you draw, and then they just end the turn because yeah, they don't want to go. Okay, on your next turn, you draw and drew the heal. Okay, it's interesting because we could not G-guard anymore, but it's fine. So right here, you could actually choose to ride into the rising. Now you get more markers, so 1 and 2. And now you use, of course, the skill of the Baton Dragger, which comes out of the soul and retires a column. You use the Jelly Beans to stride because there is no reason to keep it in the hand. And you actually, if you want to draw, then you go into cards like Finance Ace. If you want to finish the opponent off on this turn, then you could go to cards like Fermios, or you go to cards like Agrius. These are basically your 2 options. And that's why Fermios could be effective in this deck if you keep on having the soul. If not, then you don't really have that much combo extenders. So for me, I normally just go to Violence Ace because I just want to draw, and I will not commit to the field on this turn, but I will wait 1 more turn. So your opponent will have 2 striding turns if you go first. If you go second, then your opponent will have only 1 striding turn for you to get to the GB8 if you get those 3 heals, which, as you saw, getting 3 heals to the hand is really not that hard, but getting the 4th one could be very, very, very hard. Okay, so we use the Violence Ace, and right here we will use his ability to counterblast 1 and flip 1 card from your G-zone face up. Of course, your Merendol, which will give us 3 Elementals face up. And right here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this will be the 7th card. So you will reach your GB8 on the next turn. And now you also draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. Draw 6. Just like crazy, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, do we want to build a field out of these cards? Well, depending on how much pressure you want to give your opponent. If you don't want to give them counterblast, you could also end your turn or attack into a Vanguard. If you want to put pressure on them, you could do that. Remember that Violence Ace still has his second ability to count +1 and keep on attacking if you want to. You could also just call out the tier, use the tier ability to Soul Blast 2 and then counter charge 3. And with that, your Violence Ace actually becomes very effective. I'll put these boys right here. Because Violence Ace's second ability is when your opponent uses 2 or more cards on their Guardian Circle, doesn't matter if it's from hand, from G zone, from whatever, and you could counter +1, put one of your Vanguards into your soul, and then call a card from your hand to a Vanguard circle. And that's actually very effective. If your opponent is sitting on 4 damage, then this would be a very strong turn that you could do. So this would be like right here, and you could also use this. And if they have interceptors, then Sprout sometimes could force them to put the 2 cards on the Guardian Circle, because he will force them to intercept. So that's basically what you could do. You could also choose to put cards like Wonder Boy on the table. You could do that. Just boost your bed and dragger if you're really committing to the field. I actually don't commit to the field with 10Ks. I just leave it at that. 5K maybe you could put if you want a booster right here, and you could also search for another rising if you want to for next turn, if you want to ride and you want to have even more markers. Again, pretty much up to you. You could do that. All right, so let's say that you will use the Acrobat Verdi just to get more cards of the deck. You show the Jelly Beans, you search your deck for your rising. That was fast. You shuffle, and of course you discard the Jelly Beans right here. You only have the rising, but that's good. You could always stride with it or ride it if you have something to stride with, like of course the crit. All right, so we have enough cards on the field. We have still a very strong defensive hand, but we want to get more draw triggers into the hand. We have lost one here, we have one on hand, we want to get more. Why is that? Because it's your big shield, because your G Guardians are not active anymore. So if you are committing to the field, let's say that this is the field that you want to make, you could attack with this first or attack with him first. Pretty much up to you. I like to attack with the Vanguard first because I want to get the drive check anyway. And let's say that you attack and you drive check. The first one is in Acrobat Verdi, that's good. Second one is a rising, and third one is another Acrobat Verdi. Okay, we didn't get the draws, we didn't get triggers. That's too bad, too sad. We could not do anything about it. All right, so right now you have your field, right? So you attack with the Bat and Dragger. You could boost them with the Acrobat Verdi, and right here they actually need to guard this attack if they are chilling on 4 damage. That's why we committed. So when they guard at the end of the battle, if they guard with 2 cards, they could also just guard with a perfect guard. If they do that, then that's the end of it. That's why if they have done that, then you could also not attack with him first. You attack first with a Vanguard, because that's better. Why is it better? Because when you attack with him first and they guard now with 2 cards, you could always call on the top of him. But if you attack with your Vanguard first and they guard 2 cards on his attack, then you don't want to call on the top of them. So you attack with this column first. That was my bad. So attack with this column first, and then at the end of the battle, if let's say they perfect guard this attack, then nothing happens. Now you attack with this. Hey, let's cheat a little bit. Try for a better drive check, because that drive check was just sad. I also didn't really shuffle well after searching the rising to the hand. So we shuffle and we do 1 cut. Nope. Nope. You go to the bottom. Alright, so right here, let's say that they perfect guard this attack, or let's say hopefully they guard with 2 cards. Now we do first, second, heal. Okay, why not? They are on 4 damage, so we could heal as well, power here. And third one is a draw trigger. That's pretty good. So we draw 1, and this will get extra 15, right? So, hey, this is a beautiful 50. We'd use this one. This will go to the hand. And again, if they have guard with 2 cards, you could use this skill right away. Now you attack with this, and we didn't get a crit, so if they are on 4 damage, they could also take this attack. But because of his ability, you could choose to put one of your normal units, which will be one of these 2. Sprite back to the bottom of the deck. Spike Bouncer back to the bottom of the deck, and now they have to intercept if they have interceptors. You could also choose to do it differently. You'd also put this column right here and put them like this. That would be better, because with him you could also use the skill to put this to the bottom of the deck and then force a crit on this, so they have to guard it as well. Pretty much up to you, but I'm just showing you how you could pressure them a little bit with this deck, using his ability to call stuff from your hand. But how does your hand look like? Well, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cards in hand, and that's insane. Although you don't have that much shield value, actually, you do a little bit, but not too much. You still have lots of cards in hand and you're chilling on 3 damage. So that's actually quite good. And the next turn, of course, you will reach your GB8. And when you reach your GB8, you will hit them hard. So let's say that your opponent attacks you, right? So this will go to the G zone. And your field was looking like this, right? So this right here, and we have that right there. This goes to the soul. We draw 1 more. That's good. That's a very good draw. And we had the tier on the field as well right here. So these are the cards that we have in our hand. And right here, let's say the first attack we take, hopeful we get the trigger. We don't. And another attack we also take, and no triggers. And then you attack with a Vanguard. We PG that one because, yeah, why not? Let's say we discard a draw. If we have seen their over trigger. If we haven't seen the over trigger yet, then I will guard the rear guard attacks, and if they get the over trigger, they get power to the rear guards, then you could still take those 2 damage. Okay, so we guard, we discard, we guard 1, 2, 3. How many attacks could guard a lot? Let's say we use all of these to guard, even use the Wonder Boy, even use these, everything we use to guard. So all of them are gone. We don't even have this in hand to use to stride. So this is everything we have, and they also have destroyed this column because, yeah, they are strong. They could do that. Okay, so on the next turn you stand. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in our G zone. So we reach the GB8. We reach the GB8 with only 2 cards on hand, and also the problem right here is that most of our Spike Bouncers Spruits are also gone out of the deck because the game took so long. It's okay. We draw, we use the Rising Nova to stride, and of course we get to the GB8. If we ride into the Rising Nova, that would be amazing because we create more power. Now we use cards like the Spike Bouncer. Activate the ability to count blast 1, Soul Blast 1, and then we 1, 2, 3, and 4. Devil Dome. These will go to the bottom. Good drive trick. We only have this in our hand. You could choose to keep it in the hand, or you could place it right here. I would place it because he could still give you a plus. So the first attack that you do right here is with a Spike Bouncer, and you use the skill of the GB8 to power the Devil Dome, thinking that they are chilling on 4 or 5 damage. This is the strategy that you do. Spike Bouncer attack, this would be 30, still strong, and at the end of the battle, this goes into your soul. You count plus 1, and you draw. Good. Now you attack with the Devil Dome. You could boost him, but you could also just attack with the Devil Dome. Boost it. Put the power of the GB8 on him. And with that, this is 10, 20, this is 12. So this is 12, this is 22, this is 32. So that is 64, right? So 64 attacking to the Vanguard. You Soul Blast 1, of course, for his ability. And then at the end of the battle, this will go to the bottom of your deck, and then you use the skill of the GB8 to put these 2 cards into your soul and call something out of the deck. And now you get the chance to look at your deck. You have 1 Spike Bouncer left, you have 1 Mayhem Tiger left, we have another Spike Bouncer, and we also have the Devil Dome. And we have 2 tiers. So what we need to do right here is we need to we have to try to recycle some of the cards, but we don't have any Sprout left and we don't have any Wonder Boy left, and that could be a problem. But let's see how many attacks we could get out of it. So shuffle. And we get the Spike Bouncer. We could call it right here and do the same thing, or you could call it right there. It's pretty much up to you. I would say call it right here still makes a strong attack. We Soul Blast 1. It doesn't really matter anymore because we don't have the cards that puts cards from the drop zone back to the deck. Counter Blast 1. And then we check 1, 2, 3, and 4. And of course, we will go for the Devil Dome again. These go to the bottom. We could do this to the bottom and the other one on top. We attack right here with the Spike Bouncer. And now we use the skill of the GB8 to power up the Devil Dome. At the end of the battle, he goes to the soul, you Counter Blast 1, and you draw 1. Now you attack with the Devil Dome, you use the skill of the GB8 to power him up even more. So this would be 26, so this would be 40, 52, which is still good. Soul Blast 1. And at the end of the battle, you put this with the card from your hand into the soul to call something out of your deck. And now you could call your last Spike Monster, but you don't have Counter Blasts, so you have to go and call a tier. And now it's interesting because we don't have that much cards on hand. We could have boosted with him before. Yes, we could. Now we have no cards on hand to call with the GB8. We Soul Blast 2 to counter charge 3 because we have 3. 1, 2, and 3. And now we have to attack with the GB8. So we do a cut. And we attack with the GB8. Giving the skill of the GB8 to him. First drive check. Second draw. That's good. Draw 1. And let's say we give the power to tier. Or if they do the 2 to pass, you could give it to the Vanguard because why not? This will be strong by itself. But normally they will PG this attack because they have already seen your over trigger. We could not put the over trigger back to the deck because again, no Wonder Boys left. And of course, the last drive check is Acrobat 30. Again, you could always choose to take out the offensive pinter to put Wonder Boys in because the Wonder Boy does way more work than the offensive pinter. But I just wanted to show you the offensive pinter combo. So you attack with this. You don't use the offensive pinter yet. You use the power of the GB8 skill to give to him. This will attack. This would still be 36, which is crazy. And then you put 1 card from your hand with this to your soul to get up your last Spike Bouncer. And now this is where things get interesting because now you could actually loop the Mayhem Tiger a little bit. We have still the Mayhem Tiger in the deck. And because we have these two, you could choose to loop the Mayhem Tiger a little bit. So we are not focusing on drawing cards. We will actually just go hard with the Mayhem Tiger. Okay, so how does that look like? Well, let's say first of all that your opponent is chilling on 5 damage because they took a lot. And now let's also say that your opponent got only 1 trigger because they were already on 4 and they took 1 damage and they got 1 trigger, they got lucky. So their Vanguard is chilling at 23, right? So you could choose to put the Spike Bouncer right here. Now, you activate the Spike Bouncer skill, count +1, soul +1. Let's do a cut, shuffle, and a cut. And then we need the Mayhem Tiger. 1, 2, 3, last card. Ah, that's too sad. We didn't get the Mayhem Tiger. But that's okay. We'll have to wait. These go to the bottom and we know that Mayhem Tiger is in here. All right, so now let's say you attack with the rising. If we got the Mayhem Tiger, it would have been better. Otherwise, you would do it like this. That's better. But hey, we gambled on getting the Mayhem Tiger. We did it. So now you attack with this, and let's say you give the power to this because this is still strong. And then at the end of the battle, oh no, we have to give the power to him to put him into your soul. So we put this into your soul with another card, and now we could call the Mayhem Tiger. We will force call the Mayhem Tiger. Look at this deck. We have 5 cards in the deck being 3 draw triggers. Crazy. Insane. Okay, so now Mayhem Tiger's charge, Mayhem Tiger attacks. This is 28. And now if they put Guardians, we could use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards to get rid of those. So right here they will PG or they would G guard. They have to PG or G guard. You give the power to the Spike Bouncer, right? So well, that's what you do. Now, at the end of the battle, this will go to the bottom of your deck. This will attack, you give it more power, so this will be 30k, still could hit. You will not use his ability. What you do is you will put this with 1 card from your hand into the soul, and you will recall the Mayhem Tiger. Alright, so you attack 1 more time. Now you will boost him. You will give the skill to this. This also has the skill of the GB8. So basically, this will be a huge attack with Mayhem Tiger, and they have to PG this attack or G-guard this attack. Use his ability to Soul Blast 1 and give him the extra 2k, which makes this a 12k. This is a 20k booster, so that's 20, 30, 40, 50, 59. Crazy, right? 59, this is amazing. And then at the end of the battle, what you do is first, you choose to put this to the bottom of your deck. Then, next, you use the skill of the GB8 to put this card and 1 card from your hand into your soul to call something out of your deck. Let's say you call the Mayhem Tiger. You shuffle. And now, the skill of the offensive pincer will go off to draw you a card and go to the bottom of your deck, because that's not a part of the cost. So now you could not go to the bottom of your deck, but you still draw a card. And now the Mayhem Tiger will attack. He is charged. He gains another 10k. This is a less strong attack, but this will kill them because you have attacked with the Mayhem Tiger now multiple times. And then at the end of the battle, you could still put this into your soul if they have used the last PG to call something out of your deck, and you could just call this or call that, whatever you want to call them. I normally just want to finish them off with cards like Tier or that's just the draw trigger because it's fun. And now you attack with this and gain the extra 10k because of the GB8, and this will finish them off. This is basically how you could play your GB8 turn. And as I said, the power that offensive pinter, the good thing about offensive pinter is that when you ride on the top of him, he comes out of your soul, of course, which could give you a plus on field and a plus on hand in the early game. But also the fact that he is actually quite good also during your GB8 turn because you don't have that good of a boosters. But if you want to focus more on playing more Wonder Boys, I could understand that 100%. I would just play more Wonder Boys. For me, the change that I would do to the deck, I would still like to play the 3 Wonder Boys and play only 1 offensive pinter. If I get him, why not? If I don't, then it's okay. But that's the way that I like to play the deck because I find myself needing those Wonder Boys. Because Wonder Boy means put this card back to your deck, and this card means 2 extra attacks, and that's just too good to give up. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. Thank you for enjoying these videos. And as I said, I hope that you get a little bit out of it because this is my playstyle and it's different from other people's playstyle. But again, it's the way that the deck actually plays. So hopefully try the deck out if you're interested in it. If you are not and you will still want to play Spike with us, then you have to stay tuned for the other videos that we will do on the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next video. So till next time.